So get ready with me as I talk about being 2 weeks postpartum and my experience so far. For reference, I do have one son prior to my current baby that I just birthed 2 weeks ago. He is 5. And so those experiences are very different. We'll probably talk about a delivery experience with this one in a separate video, but wanted to talk about being 2 weeks of postpartum and what my experience has been so far. So big things I've noticed in my experience so far is that when people say your pregnancies and kind of like how you experience them are totally different, they are not lying. So for me, I have noticed that I have dealt with this experience a lot more. This experience has been a lot more difficult, I would say, than my first one. Obviously, I think a lot of that has to do with not being a parent my first time around. So I only had to worry about me and my husband. And then now doing this again with a toddler, even though he's the best kid ever, it's still like a responsibility thing that I have to take care of in order to make sure that he is straight for school. So that has been very, very difficult because we drive about 35-ish, 40 minutes one way to his schooling. And so that has been a stressor already prior to this baby coming, and now it's just more of a stressor. So that has been a pain. So that would be the big thing, I think, is when you have another kid to take care of and then you're now postpartum with your second one. Wow, like that experience is a lot more difficult. It's just personally for me. Second thing I would say in terms of experience would be, and what's made this more difficult, is that I'm older. So I had my first son at 26. I'm now 31. So there's a 5-year difference in between those pregnancies, and my body handled the pregnancy differently as well. My first pregnancy, I didn't have any swelling. I didn't deal with a lot of like physical changes. I only actually gained 14 pounds with my first one. And I expected this one to be the same, and it just was not. I gained about 35 pounds with this pregnancy. And then secondly, I did experience postpartum swelling in my feet, which was very much like caught me off guard because I didn't experience it the first time. I also ended up having really high blood pressure, so I am still on high or blood pressure medication in general. But the adjustment, secondly, that has been a struggle has been the sleeping. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So the first time I had my mom live in with us for a few weeks, which honestly, like, I wish could have happened this second time around, but unfortunately it did not. But literally, like, newborns have the worst sleep schedule known to me. And once again, like, when you've been removed from this experience for 5 years, you kind of forget some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You forget kind of the difficulties of what that looked like. And once again, I had my mom as a buffer the first time that I didn't have this second time around. And it's currently making a world of a difference in terms of my experience. Waking up every 2 hours, trying to figure out what's wrong with your baby is been very difficult. And I think it's honestly contributed to my feelings of postpartum depression early on. So I experienced some of those symptoms literally like day 3 of being home from the hospital with my son. Literally, like, my first son would literally just say, "Hi, mommy," to me, and I'd want to cry. I'd start tearing up. Little things would just make me want to cry. And so I did not experience that with my first pregnancy, and it definitely caught me off guard with the second one. But realistically, like, it's very real. I never experienced it before until now, but I wholeheartedly understand how women say they go through it. Especially when you are, once again, like, already in motherhood previously and you have been far removed from it, like I said, because my son is 5. My first son is 5. So yeah, postpartum depression has been a thing as well so far. It's gotten better as we've gotten at the end of the second week. I still find myself like grieving, honestly, my old life of just being able to go to sleep when I wanted to, you know, my toddler being able to do things for himself that I'm not currently getting now. And so I'm working through that, and honestly just leaning a lot on just prayer to get me through this time. Another difficulty is just your difference in your body. I have fibroids, so my body is not snapping back in any way, shape, or form of the word. I can definitely tell that my face is going back down to normal, because you know, like your nose and sometimes you gain weight in your face, but the rest of my body is not snapping back. And so I look in the mirror and I absolutely do not like what I see. So working through that as well, and knowing that it's okay, and also having a supportive partner that tells me it's okay. But we all know as women, like, it's very difficult to feel that way when you internally feel it, even if other people aren't telling you that they have an issue with that thing. So that is my 2-week update so far. Postpartum depression is a real thing. Definitely have experienced it. And honestly, am just working through taking this day by day. Did not finish this beat because, like I said, I had a lot of stuff I guess I had to say. But hope to just continue to do these updates for anybody out there. You are not alone in this at all. I really just ask, if you are pregnant currently, my advice would just really be to kind of talk to people about being there for you, or how they can be there for you postpartum, and leaning into that village as much as possible. And also, if you have a partner, trying to set up some type of sleep schedule would probably be helpful as well, to the point that you don't get to a place where you are so sleep deprived that you just start feeling crazy. So those will be my 2 main things of advice at this point. And like I said, I'll keep y'all updated as things change. But today I'm just trying to find a way to just feel a little bit like myself. And so the way I'm doing that is through makeup. Even though I'm not going anywhere, I'm in the house with this baby. You know, it feels good to do something that has nothing to do with him, but has everything to do with how I feel about myself. So this is gonna be it, y'all. Honestly, there's not very much to really do, like I said, as I'm just sitting at the house. But I do feel a little bit better and put together with a little bit of a face on. So I hope this was helpful. And I will continue to update you. And feel free to share your stories down in the comments as well, because it's rough out here. But we got this. And the thing I continue to remember is that it won't last forever. This is a snapshot in the journey. And I know that next year I'll be so thankful that this is over, and be so reminiscent of the experience of having my second boy. So, all right, see y'all later.